continuing the NA team battle. Right now, it's looking like Team Zerg may end up running away with it. They lead 5-2. StRyKeR, with 3 of those wins for his team so far, will be staying on in this portion of the match. He's in the top right here of Eclipse. He just went 2-0 against 2 of the Protoss players on the opposing team, Raz and Dragon. And we're going to see if he can do it against the 3rd Protoss player on the team, Just. Now, so far in this battle, we've only seen Just play 1 time, and that was actually already against StRyKeR, and it was a little bit of a one-sided game where StRyKeR kind of got into his heavy lurker-based army, and it was just very hard to push through that, which, of course, you know, that's just kind of... hey, that's oftentimes what PvZ looks like. When Protoss ends up losing, they can't quite get through those lurkers. So the map is Eclipse. It's going to play out a little bit differently. You have more different attack paths. So maybe it's going to be a bit easier for Just to circumnavigate a strategy like that. Of course, StRyKeR might bring something completely different. We're not entirely sure about that yet. You know, like this area would be a great area to hold with Lurker Hydra, for instance, but it's not that valuable, right? Because you can run around here, you can run around here, or you can run around here. Which, if you're looking at the mini-map, I just kind of showed this map has a lot more paths. So, yeah, again, that's not going to be quite as powerful. A lot of times what we end up seeing is, of course, here's StRyKER's base. Here's his natural. His 3rd base will be up here. And so that means that his lurker-based defense could either be on this ramp and in his natural, or it could be in this general area. And I've seen both used a lot of times on Eclipse. I guess it's partially preference and partially what's going on in the game. Now let's take a look at the builds. Okay, so this is an overpool into hatchery. And over here, it is just a Forge Fast expansion. So just going to be throwing that Nexus down, and then a cannon immediately. A drone coming down for a little bit of scouting intel. And we'll see if it tries some harassment here as well. Just really needs to get that cannon down. So hopefully he can get that done. And only 2 lings being made. So not all that scary for Just, who will skirt the probe around behind the minerals and see what he can do to keep that alive for now and keep that scouting going. StRyKER has shown that he is willing to go for a Hydra bust as well. So definitely, you can't just rest on the fact that he is a macro player. You will mix in some of those early aggressive plays. Now, the drone getting ready for this 3rd hatchery. As I mentioned, that's just always where you see the 3rd base here in Protoss versus Zerg. And I guess I'm mostly interested here to see from Just if he's going to do anything like any really powerful moves, right? Like, for instance, there are builds sometimes, and a lot of this based off scouting, where you're going to go very few Corsairs and like power into gateways more quickly, that type of thing, try to pressure your opponent. You know, you can in fact skip your Stargate occasionally and just be running around with speed lots, and if they go mutas, go into like a Dark Archon, that type of thing. You know, there are little tricks and things you can do that, you know, maybe it's time to mix something like that in against a player like StRyKER, who has shown so much strength so far. He's looked definitely like a monster in this matchup so far in this NA team battle. So Cybernex core on the way. That Zealot being made. That is going to be the first one. We'll see if he actually tries to send it across the map at all. In the meantime, Zergling's speed is coming up for StRyKER. Okay. His layer going to be finishing relatively soon here. Probes being produced. And yeah, okay, so just droning. Even though he is making that Zergling speed upgrade, that might just be a little bit for safety in case he needs to pop out quite a few Zerglings. Stargate is coming up, so no skipping of the Corsairs or anything like that. We'll see if he starts at +1 really quickly here. I imagine that will be the case. Yep, there it is. And, I mean, everything looks pretty darn standard, to be honest. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Spire is coming up for StRyKER. And just pure drones. I think he has literally 1 Zergling. Yeah, there he is. This one web-footed, human-fingered Zergling. Okay, so I mean, he might have to pop a bunch of Zerglings relatively soon if these Zealots walk out across the map. This is one of the reasons why it can be very important to move out with Zealots or fake moving out with Zealots so that your opponent doesn't do moves like adding a ton of drones, right? Like, realistically, like if you just right-click these Zealots into the map, and oftentimes what we see, for instance, there was an Overlord down closer, we'll see the first Zealot walk beyond the Overlord, sit here for like 5 seconds, and then walk back, because that's... You know that they already have started the Zerglings, and canceling kills the larva, right? So it's just something that can force some extra units. Would love to see some moves like that here against StRyKeR. Now, the Corsair going to be going across the map for this first scout. Very, very important. This drone count is unbelievable. Look at that. 33 against 37 probes right now. So definitely looking very, very strong. 3 mutas on the way. Evolution Chamber coming up very, very quickly here also. Corsair scouting, sees what's what. Another macro hatchery. Of course, that economy really flowing for our Zerg player right now. But the Citadel is up, so legs on the way, as well as that +1, a little halfway done. A little bit over halfway done, rather. And the +1 air attack's about halfway done. Okay, so we'll see if he actually goes through with that. We've seen a lot of canceled +1 air attacks in this battle so far. All right, 4 mutas. 5th one is going to be popping out here very shortly. Did he actually make Scourge? Oh, this is kind of interesting. Straight up skipping Scourge. Normally you see 4 Scourge at the beginning, but instead this is much quicker Mutalisks. And he's going to get over here, and there's 3 Corsairs. I don't think you really want to fight that right now. This looks a little bit scary for the Mutas, but, you know, 5 are going to one-shot probes, so that's good. Let's see how many he can get. 1, 2... Gets 2 and has to turn around, but you know what? He takes like 5 damage on these mutas, so it's really not a big deal. Can run away with those. Okay, now the Scourge are being made. Oh, I kind of like that, right? Like the Corsairs are gonna run away because they know that Scourge are coming, so you can skip making the Scourge, go down, kill a couple probes, and then make the Scourge. Because they have to vacate the map. It's not like you just keep your Corsairs out there and try to spot Scourge. You'd lose a lot of Corsairs that way, because Zerg players have become very good at flying the Scourge around at funny angles to try to catch them. Now, 8 Scourge are out, 2 more coming, so that's going to be 10 Scourge and 5 mutas flying in to see if they can get some damage done. In the meantime, just moving out with 10 Speed Zealots with +1, so that is really scary. These Scourge are going to have to deal with the Corsairs really quickly. Okay, he tries a gun down. Oh, the Scourge actually connect rather well. Only 1.5 Corsairs left over here. The Zealots get up on top of everything. Corsairs coming in to battle the mutas, but the mutas can beat these 2 very badly hurt Corsairs. Some nice micro from Just, but he has to pull them back. The Sunken finishing up. The Zealots actually doing quite a bit of damage here. Mutas will eventually clean them out. But, you know, everything being chased back quite a bit. And, ooh, the Corsair comes back, but the 2 hurt ones a little bit later to the party. And it looks like the Zealots are going to get cleaned up, but a decent amount of drones were killed. He killed off some of the Static D as well. He kept the Mutalisks back. I think overall this was pretty good for Just, although it does feel like maybe he could have like targeted a little bit better there at the end. Maybe he could have done something like picked off an extra building. Not entirely sure, but still seems like that was some good pressure that came out. He's up 10 workers now against StRyKeR, who wants to redrone, is getting into his lurker tech also. Taking a look back at home here for Just. All right, 5 gates, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's pretty standard on 2 bases to go up to those 8 gateways. I like that he has completed the +1 air attacks, and he's actually going for... okay, you got a second forge. That's what we're seeing here. So 2-1 upgrades on the way. That +1 armor going to be done pretty quickly. 3 High Templars already out, and Dragoon range on the way. So that means Storm is already done as well. Very cool. I kind of like how Just has taken this game. I think he's put himself, like, he has the right things going on right now, I think. But StRyKeR is... Okay, I'm not sure why I just saw a Sunken Tentacle attack the hatchery for a moment, but okay. Anyways, taking a look, it looks like Overlord speed is coming. We have +2 ranged attack being researched. And of course, getting into Hydra Lurker here, as that is kind of the standard for StRyKeR. Zealot's moving out once again. Now, he doesn't have his High Templar support this time. Ooh, the Muta's coming in for a bit of harassment. Leaves a few Scourge here on the side. I mean, he connects with one, but ooh, a little missed chance there for some moving shots with the Corsairs. Looks like they do want to chase these down. And in fact, I mean, his Zealots get in here. He tries to make an egg wall. He doesn't quite succeed. Oh, but as the Lurkers pop out and burrow, that is going to make it very difficult. But hold on. He's actually... Oh, my God. Just cleared all the Hydralists. That means that all the Overlords are going to end up dying here. This is fantastic. In fact, he gets the Zealots into the main base on top of those drones. Oh, my God. It looked like he might end up losing all of that. But a great move from Just, really punishing the lack of Hydralists, the very Lurker-heavy defense here. He clears out so many Overlords. Supply blocks him at 79 to 78 after killing like 5 Obies. The Zealots are in the main base. He's going to kill another one here as well. Would love to see him pull the Corsairs out now. He might get the spawning pool as well. No, not quite. Just barely saves that spawning pool. The Corsairs trying to get more Overlords, but I think that might be a bit too greedy here for Just. He did some great damage, though. You have to make a bunch more Overlords. StRyKeR in kind of a tough spot. Can't macro here for a little bit while we wait to get unsupply blocked. And during this, Just taking his third base. Very nicely done. Now, +2 attack is almost done. +2 armor is already on the way. He's got a good Dragoon force. Let's see the High Templar count. He still has 4 Corsairs. Not bad. 3 High Templars sitting around with this army. Doesn't look like I see any more right now. So, yeah, he only made the 3 for now, which I kind of find interesting, right? Like, he is focusing more heavily on getting upgrades, which I really don't mind in this type of situation. It's not that big of a Hydra flood. It's a little bit more of a technical army since he already made the Mutalisks and he went into Lurkers rather quickly. So I guess you don't actually need all the High Templars right off the bat this game because it's not just mass pure Hydra. And so kind of front-loading by getting those upgrades out and then switching over and getting some High Templars after you have a decent Dragoon force. I think I like a lot of the ideas that we're seeing from Just in this game. Let's take a look at StRyKER's side. He's taking his 4th base, pretty standard. See Zerg expand there. This is the most attackable base on the map, but it's also the only base that's easy to take as a 4th in this type of game. Still layer tech. Still 1 evolution chamber. Some more mutas are being added in, and Burrow. I just saw Burrow being researched. Wait, did he cancel that or did he finish it? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, so that's kind of interesting if we do end up seeing Burrow. And the Muta's coming out. There's a lot of Dragoons, so I'm not entirely sure he's going to get much done with the Mutas. But it could be that StRyKER just feels a bit behind and realizes he needs to make some magic happen. And a lot of times that magic is picking off High Templars so that your main army can hold on against the Gateway-centric force of Protoss. Now, I like this. This is like a decent little spread to really slow an army down. 5 Mutas flying around here. Has some frontal cannons, but nothing against actual harassment if we see that. Muta's now flying down to meet this tiny group of Hydras. Of course, the army that we see out on the map from StRyKER can't really fight against Just. But if he brings all of his forces together, maybe. He's got a good amount of Lurkers being made. He's pretty well spread, though. Group here. Looks like a rally over in this area. A group here. And a group here. And then also he's gone up to like 10 Mutas. So yeah, his army's a little bit fragmented right now, but he can get a lot of intel with these Mutas. So if he can kind of keep on keep track, I guess, rather, of where Just's army is, he can definitely utilize that to his advantage and run back to where he needs to defend. Now, the Mutas hitting this 3rd base, they actually do a lot of damage to that mineral line. Gonna fly into the main. There's only a single cannon here for defense. And he is going to take that cannon out in just 3 volleys. Take out some of these probes here as well. Dragoon's coming up. I hope he left a flanking High Templar to punish these, because the Mutas are going to kill a lot of probes and then just fly out of here. So let's see. Is there anything left? No, nothing really. A couple more cannons warped in, but doesn't really get the punish. So these are still very high health Mutalisks. Okay, I think that was some very good moves. Look at the... Oh, wow. Look at how much damage he actually did to the probes. Only 38 left. 38. That is such a small number for 15 minutes into the game on 3 bases. So, very painful. Yeah, you can see that saturation at all 3 bases pretty low here now for Just. His army, though, is really, really good. Okay, he's got +2/+2 upgrades. His +3 attack is almost done. He's actually getting Maelstrom right now as well, which is an awesome spell. You can just freeze all the mutas and kill them instantly with a Psystorm. And it's very useful as well against Hydras. Like, Maelstrom is a great spell. It's definitely an underrated spell. I gotta agree with everyone who's saying that. Okay, so the army coming up. The Dragoons doing a very good job of zoning these mutas out. Hydra's coming down. I'm not sure what those want to do. I think you have to sit in a bit of a spread arc here as StRyKeR. Because this is coming. This Just army is coming across the map to attack. Now, he is down a bit in supply, but his army's pretty darn efficient. He spent a lot of money on those upgrades. Doing a good job of that. Maelstrom will be ready in about 30 seconds. He has some Psystorms coming up. That Dark Archon kind of sitting in the front. Okay, a decent storm up here, clearing out some of the High Templars, or some of the Lurkers, rather. More Lurker Hydra coming up from the side. Muta's just coming in for a straight attack move flank, maybe not seeing too much value in microing them anymore. Storm's going down on this big group. Oh my god, Storm's his own High Templar somehow, unfortunately, and kills it off. But you know what? He killed that group down there very, very efficiently. Does have a Maelstrom now as well. Not many Psystorms left, though. In fact, no Psystorms left in this army, which I think is the big problem. You definitely need more storms. And oh my god, he has so many High Templars coming up. But look at the amount of Zerglings. Only like 4 or 5 Zerglings coming up, killing like 4 High Templars. If only all of these had gone up. But actually, it's still quite a large number. The High Templars moving up right now, joining with this army, each one of them with a Psystorm available. So we're going to have about 8 storms here to go with a huge Dragoon force that has +3 attack. A Maelstrom is out here as well. We'll see where he ends up using that. Okay, that was a pretty good Maelstrom. Storm on these flanking Lurkers. Oh, the Ling's running through it as well. Getting a lot of pot shots, and does throw down, unfortunately, a double storm right there, but microing back. The Cracklings coming forward for battle now. They do have those 1/1 upgrades, which are pretty decent. And with only Dragoons left over, it looks like StRyKeR is starting to break through a bit. Still, we have some high-quality units left over, right? We have a Dark Archon. Okay, he's about a minute out from another Maelstrom. High Templar, that's just a couple seconds out from another Psystorm. More units coming up. Hopefully, yeah, another Psystorm should be ready. Oh, the Dark Archon goes forward, takes so much damage, and is it going to get picked off? It's at 1 health, but it lives some way, somehow. Got to keep that thing back a little bit more. This Archon up, fighting on those front lines. Still the 1 health Dark Archon staying alive. Another storm goes down, killing a Zergling or 2. Kind of a crazy battle, and you can see nothing really left for StRyKeR. A few units here and there, just pushing up into the 4th base. StRyKER's supply is incredibly low. It seems like just awesome upgrades work out for him. A fantastic game out of the Protoss user, finally knocking down StRyKER and making the series that much closer.